Hello everyone, it's Becca from Becca Books and Bujo, and today I am sharing all of the classic books on my physical TBR. So I've seen a lot of videos of people sharing every book on their TBR. Well, I have almost 200 books on my physical TBR, and so I decided to split them up into category and share them with you that way. So this first installment of my TBR includes all of the classics on my physical shelves. So we'll just jump right in. The first one I have is Mother Night by Kurt Vonnegut. I think I've only read Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. This one says that Vonnegut makes fun of sex, sin, and motherhood, of war and peace, and of the FBI and communists and the Nazis too. And no one but Kurt Vonnegut could have created Howard Campbell Jr., the American who became a notorious Nazi and survived the war to mock all decent people. This atrocious man a hero, this insatiable fiend who boasted of knowing more than 49 ways to make love, really nothing more than a happy Rotarian? It could only happen in the silly putty world of Mother Night, where the only reality is unreality. I don't know if it even sounds good, but I got it at a book sale, I think, for pretty cheap. So first one, then I have The Color Purple. This one I have seen the movie a long time ago, so I don't even remember what this one's about. Life wasn't easy for Celie, but she knew how to survive, needing little to get by. Then her husband's lover, a flamboyant blues singer, barreled into her world and gave Celie the courage to ask for more, to laugh, to play, and finally to love. This one seems like it's just a figuring out who you are story, and lots of people have read The Color Purple. Then I have a Maya Angelou, which I really need to read. It is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. This one says, this testimony from a Black sister marks the beginning of a new era in the minds and hearts and lives of all Black men and women. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings liberates the reader into life simply because Maya Angelou confronts her own life with such a moving wonder, such a luminous dignity. I have no words for this achievement, but I know that not since the days of my childhood, when the people in books were more real than the people one saw every day, have I found myself so moved. Her portrait is a biblical study of life in the midst of death. James Baldwin wrote that about this book. So I trust James Baldwin, and I'm sure it'll be great. Then I have The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. I don't know why this one's on my shelves. I think that actually was my husband's copy, and I just felt like I should read it. It's a short little ditty, 200 pages. It says, when Gregor Samsa woke up one morning from unsettling dreams, he found himself changed in his bed into a monstrous vermin. With this startling, bizarre, yet surprisingly funny first sentence, Kafka begins his masterpiece, The Metamorphosis. It is a story of a young man who, transformed overnight into a giant beetle-like insect, becomes an object of disgrace to his family, an outsider in his own home, a quintessentially alienated man. I don't know, it sounds a little goofy to me, but I also don't like bugs, so we'll see. Then, Catch-22, an apocalyptic masterpiece, it says. Mine has gross green edges. Then, we have A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. It's over 600 pages, this copy is, but it's also one of my bomb books in my deck of TBR game, so I'm sure I will get it eventually. Okay, then I have a Shakespeare, The Tempest. So this should maybe even be in my plays. I have a section of plays and poetry that I'm gonna do in a later video, but this is Shakespeare's The Tempest. Okay, then I have The Bridges of Madison County. And this one says, he noticed all of her. He could have walked out on this earlier, could still walk. Rationality shrieked at him, let it go, Kincaid. Get back on the road, shoot the bridges, go to India, stop in Bangkok on the way, and look up the silk merchant's daughter who knows every ecstatic secret the old ways can teach. Swim naked with her at dawn in jungle pools and listen to her scream as you turn her inside out at twilight. Let go of this, the voice was hissing now. It's outrunning you. But the slow street tango had begun. Somewhere it played. He could hear it, an old accordion. It was far back or far ahead. He couldn't be sure. Yet it moved toward him steadily, and the sound of it blurred his criteria and funneled his own alternatives toward unity. Inexorably, it did that until there was nowhere left to go except toward Francesca Johnson. It sounds like a love story, maybe. A coming of age, possibly. It's also a short little book, 170 pages, very big text, so that one should be easy to read eventually. Then A Lesson Before Dying by Ernest J. Gaines. I think I have read this a long time ago. It was maybe in school, and so I don't remember it. So that's why it's on my TBR to read again sometime. It's set in a small Cajun community in the late 1940s. It's about a young Black man who sounds like wrongfully convicted of murdering 3 white men. Then I have a few Toni Morrisons. I've got Sula, I've got Beloved, and Song of Solomon. These I all picked up at a library book sale. The only one I've really heard a lot about is Beloved, and I've heard that this is gut-wrenching. I would like to read it. I did read The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison last year, I think, and it was not my favorite, and it was kind of the writing style, so I'm interested to see if these 3 will be all right. Then I have one that I've been longing to get to for a long time because it's my name, but Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. This one is a mystery, and I know it's some people's favorite books, and so I'm really looking forward to getting to this one. I actually have a reading vlog idea coming up with books with my name in the title, so I hope to do that maybe this summer for my birthday as kind of a fun way to celebrate me. Wow, that sounds conceited. As far as I know, this one is about a married couple, and the husband's first wife maybe comes back to haunt the second wife, and the first wife was Rebecca. Wow, shows how much I know. Okay, next one on my classics shelf is Les Mis by Victor Hugo. It's probably my longest book. It's a dream of mine to read it for some reason, and I saw someone do a challenge once where they read Les Mis in 1 year because there's 365 chapters in Les Mis, and so you read a chapter a day. And I thought that sounded intriguing to try to read this book, but this is about some French citizens during the French Revolution. Most people know about it because of the musical, but also it's classic. Then we have Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. This one I have no clue what it's about, but it was my husband's, and he brought it to our married bookshelves, and when I looked it up on Goodreads, it said it was a classic, and so I felt like I should keep it and read it eventually. Then I have maybe more of a modern classic, Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. This is about a teenager in Nigeria who lives a privileged life. However, she has a unharmonious home life. But I think when I looked it up on Goodreads, it said it was a classic. I'm going to go with it just because Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie has such iconic writing. So that's fun. I feel embarrassed that I have not read this one because it takes place in the state that I live. But this is Until They Bring the Streetcars Back by Stanley Gordon West. This one takes place in 1949 St. Paul, Minnesota, and they took away the streetcars. A poignant love story that quietly grabs the reader by the throat and doesn't let go until, in the end, it has you by the heart. Embarrassed that I haven't read it. Okay, then here are some real big classics. So we've got 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. We have Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. This one I have read a lot of, but I don't think I've officially finished it. This one is about kind of a messed up family living in the countryside of England, I believe. But yeah, powerful and original novel of English literature. Then we've got another one that I have read parts of because I wrote a research paper on it in high school, but I don't think I actually ever completed, was Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe. This is about a young slave who escapes his owners, I believe. Yeah, so eventually one I want to get to. And then we've got Journey to the Center of the Earth by Jules Verne. Looks like a great adventure story. And last but not least, I have The Swiss Family Robinson by Johann David Weiss. That was thunder. Sounded like my husband dropped something upstairs, but no, that was thunder. Hope everything's okay upstairs and outside. This one is about a family that gets marooned on an island. Never read it. I bought these I think they're Barnes & Noble editions of these two and Little Women. It's up there at the bottom of a stack. When I was in 5th grade or something, and never read them because they seemed too intimidating in 5th grade, and now they still kind of seem intimidating. But those are the books on my classic shelf. So let me count those quick and see how many on my classics shelf there are. Okay, so I've got 22 classics on my physical TBR. Please comment down below which books you think I should prioritize in my classics. I'm hoping to add a category in my, or a prompt in my deck of TBR game that says like viewer chosen classic or viewer chosen contemporary. And if you comment down below, then it would be a chance for me to read it if that prompt were chosen. So let me know down below what which of these classics I should prioritize, which ones I have to read, need to read, or which ones you didn't like. That information is good to know too. So thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next one. Bye.